character, he doesn't understand why the true culprit never got help from what she was going through. And the male lead is like, she saw all men like the men who took advantage of her, all women like her mother, and she dissociated herself from the children around her. And she probably didn't have a good relationship with her fellow classmates because they were probably most likely jealous of her because she was very adorable, very beautiful, and children can be even more vicious and cruel than adults can be. The crush, he finds a rental that basically was used as the main base of selling the little girls at and used to get rid of them. He also finds a photo in large of the true culprit with her teacher. So yes, this is the room of operations that everything was going down in. They also end up finding the vehicle that was used to kidnap the little girl from the hijacking case. They even find her blood in the vehicle. The main character, he goes to question the cleaner once more, and the cleaner's like, even though you have all of this evidence, typically the photo evidence of these men with little girls, you cannot prove that they actually knew that the little girls were kidnapped or were involved in their kidnappings. You also cannot prove they were involved in the deaths of the little girls. Yeah, they could only arrest them for, laying hands on children. That is all they're gonna get, and they're gonna get basically just 3 to 5 years. And he tells them also that he's not gonna get in severe trouble either because they can't really prove that he was involved in it. But he does start talking though. He tells the main character a sob story. How at first he didn't know what was going on, that he didn't know the true culprit was such a monster. He thought she was one of the victims. He saw her with the teacher and he ended up taking photos of it. He got hold of the father of one of the first victims and was giving information to the man and even helped the man find the teacher with the true culprit. He didn't know that that was going to happen. He had saw her with one of the victims and had lured her somewhere else. Saw her later with the victim's clothing and getting rid of it. Like, he is giving off a full sob story how he ended up working for her, that he only did it because he loved her. He didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to save her, how to stop her. He didn't want her to go to jail. Like, he is full on pulling the sad, heartbroken, used lover act. And the main character, he's not having it. He is basically pointing holes into the dude's story and being like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you handle things like this? This is not how it went. Like, he is full on pointing out the wrong parts of this man's story. The main character points out to the cleaner that the cleaner wasn't in love with the quote-unquote lamb version that the true culprit wore. No, he was in love with her true dark, vile side. He enjoyed the things she would do to others, and that he was very pleased and happy when her murder turned out exactly like her. The reason why they ended up getting caught is because the child kidnapper decided to do things on her own. She got hold of one of the clients. Usually, she and the cleaner would work together to kidnap a girl and then bring the girl to one of their clients. And once the client had enough of her, they will deal with the little girl. But this time she decided to do things on her own, got hold of one of the clients. She and the client followed a different girl on that hijacking bus, but they ended up coming across the girl they ended up kidnapping and taking off with. He found out, had stormed into the location, drove off the client, and then him and the child kidnapper got rid of the little girl who was kidnapped on the hijacking bus. With the photos they had found and the confession of the man who had worked with the child kidnapper during the hijacking bus case, they're able to arrest several men who also confess several names, and they go and arrest those men. And it's just a circle of arresting, confessing, throwing other people under the bus. There are 10 people arrested, but sadly and horrifying that they're only gonna get 3 to 5 years for what they did. We also find the bodies of the victims. They look into the locations tied to the child kidnapper, her mother, and her grandmother. They also took the Malid's advice that he gave them about dumping bodies, and they go and run with that, and they do find all of the bodies. They even found the first victim from the case 20 years prior. They found where she was left. After the case was solved, the main character, he tries talking to the father of the first victim from the case 20 years ago. And he's trying to make this man feel better. He's trying to comfort the man, and the man, he's not hearing it. He realizes that if he hadn't butt his head into the case, that if he let the cops do their job, if he gave the cops the information 20 years ago before taking things into his own hands, like after him and the kid found the true culprit with the teacher at the teacher's home, he should have, informed the cops right away. That he should have gone and done that instead of taking things in his own hands. Or again, showing the evidence he had collected on watching and spying on the teacher and the teacher's close and inappropriate relationship with his student. Maybe things would have been solved all those years ago and there wouldn't have been more victims. He realizes that he might have let the true culprit walk because he decided to take justice in his own hands. The main character, he has a pet cat, and this cat priorly belonged to the Malid. He had got it a gift from the crush, but he didn't keep it after a period of time and handed it over to the main character. And the main character just recently asked the Malid why he didn't want to keep the cat, even though he first acted like he really wanted the cat. The Malid told him, "Oh, I did that as an act. I never actually wanted the cat from the get-go, but I didn't know how to tell the crush I didn't want the cat. I didn't know you kept the cat after all of these years." So this is news to him. We find out the real reason why he didn't keep the cat is because he wanted to save the cat from himself and specifically save the cat from his father, because his father would make him do things to animals, and he didn't want to do that to the cat that was gifted to him by the crush. He didn't want to keep harming animals, so he handed over the animal to the main character to keep the cat safe and sound. And even now, when he goes to feed the main character's cat, he's uncomfortable being near the cat because all he remembers is the things his father used to make him do. At the housewarming party, the Malid had found out that all the gifts he got from his crush were actually gifts from the main character, that the main character would just hand the gifts to the crush and the crush would hand them over to the Malid. And once the Malid found that out, he acts like a flirtatious vixen to the main character. He's constantly flirting with the main character. He's teasing the main character. He is acting like a cat who is basically soothes itself around your leg and twirls around you and try and get your affection and attention. It also gets up on your lap and smooths its tail across your face and underneath your nose. You know what I'm talking about. That is exactly how the Malid is acting. And the main character, he flirts back. He teases back and usually shuts the Malid up. And the Malid is sometimes shocked by it, and sometimes the Malid tries to play a little more into it, or he gets very awkward. And I just really enjoyed their flirting throughout this entire book. I want more of it.